Hello, this is Chad of God 1227 and welcome to my channel. This is a big event for me. It's the first time that I'm appearing on my channel, but it's because of this wonderful month of October. Hopefully many of you know this. If not, October is known as Breast Cancer Awareness Month. If you haven't known this, that 1 in 8 women will be diagnosed with breast cancer in their lifetime, and that every 2 minutes a woman is diagnosed with breast cancer. Little known fact, men can get breast cancer as well, but it's not as high as the women. Like, you have a slim chance of getting it if you're a dude. Another thing is breast cancer is the number one cancer that women will get outside of different forms of skin cancer. The reason why I'm doing this video on breast cancer is, and I will post the timestamps in the video down below. I'm just not sure when they're going to appear yet. But in honor of Breast Cancer Awareness Month, this year, thanks to COVID and not being able to do that many stuff, I'll be cutting my own hair and donating it to Locks of Love because of how much I love my mom. If you want to go ahead and listen to this portion of the video, you can. It's a little bit of history of why I'm doing this and why this month means so much to me. If you want to see me make a fool of myself while cutting my hair, just go ahead and look in the description below. But my mom has probably been 13 or 14 years free of cancer. She was diagnosed with breast cancer in 2005. I was 11 at that time, and I have a little sister, and she was 7, if you can imagine that. That would also make my older siblings, let's see, that would also make my older siblings 14 and 15. Wow. I'm sorry, cancer can be a very hard subject to talk about. But what most people don't know is my mom was diagnosed with cancer Christmas Eve of 2005. 2005 was a great year from what I remember from the beginning of it. I thought I had an awesome birthday. 2005 was when I got to go to the movie theater for the first time. I ran to the doors to beat my little sister so that I could be in a movie theater before her. And we actually saw the movie One Night with the King. That is a very good movie about the story of Esther. Also, that year on Father's Day, Star Wars Episode 3 came out. And my dad and brother and older sister got to see that. And they had to keep their mouths shut tight, even though they annoyed us and bragged about how they saw the movie and how Anakin, I shouldn't say anything if they're spoilers, but, the journey of Anakin Skywalker and all of that, they were so stoked. And I had to wait till it came on DVD to watch it, because I was too young, according to my parents, to watch it in the theater. Maybe that, or Dad just wanted to have a very special day with my older siblings. So it was a great year. And the year ended for my parents with that phone call. I don't know when my mom went in to get tested, or, when she first found her lump, but she went in and they got the phone call Christmas Eve. My parents didn't tell us anything Christmas Eve or actually on Christmas Day. It was a week later. We were all getting ready for Wednesday night church, and our parents called us over. And so, we were all sitting in the living room. We're like, okay, what's the big deal? We're all ready for church. Come on, let's go. Little did we know that the next few years our lives would have changed greatly. My dad sat us down and told us that my mom was diagnosed with cancer. At the time, it seemed completely scary. We weren't sure what all that detailed as kids. I knew eventually my mom would be losing her hair and that she'd be weak and sick, but I was like, hey, she's gonna be better. She's been through a lot. The year before, my mom had a gastric bypass surgery that almost took her life. Recovery surgery, like it went really, really rough. And so we just got, through that. And I was like, okay, cancer, what can you do to my mom? It's interesting because I realized I've never really talked to my siblings about this. They they all deal with it in their own way. Like an example, my brother and I can't watch the movie Christmas Shoes at all. If any of you want to know what Christmas Shoes is about, you can go ahead and listen to the song, my new song, or you can go ahead and watch the movie. But it's basically about a mom who gets sick and they find out, it seems like in the movie they allude that she has some type of ailment. I don't remember what. And that on Christmas Eve, her son buys her these beautiful shoes for her to wear for when she meets Jesus. And the first time my brother heard it, he loved that song. Now he can't stand it. For me, I get different emotions every time. I just try to stay away from it. For some strange reason, my little sister loves the movie, yet she can't walk into the cancer ward in the hospital. That's too emotional for her. My older sister, I don't know. But besides the point, that's just an example of maybe some of the things people might deal with afterwards. I didn't know when someone was diagnosed with cancer that they would have breakdowns. I clearly remember my mom vacuuming the floor one day, and I don't know what happened, if like the bag needed to be changed or if it was unplugged or something happened, but my mom just, was yelling at the vacuum and taking it apart and, trying to put it back together. And my little sister comes out. I guess she would have been in the second grade then. And she's trying to calm my mom down. And I'm doing my schoolwork, watching this. And my mom starts crying and then shouting, saying how we needed to get ready for a new mom. That she was going to go away and that we had to get used to a life without her. And that, we better kick things up a notch and just learn how to do things now because mom won't be able to teach us. My siblings and I would have to go and calm my little sister down and explain to her that mom and dad were not getting a divorce, that mom wasn't leaving in that way, that mom was sick and mom was afraid she wasn't going to come out of it. But my mom would have breakdowns like this constantly where she would cry and just yell, saying that she wasn't going to be in our lives anymore. And that was extremely tough. You try explaining all of that to a 7-year-old. And I, being 11 and 12 during this time, I barely understood, what was happening. I thought my mom should have had bigger faith that she was going to survive. I remember when my mom started chemo. Mom didn't tell us when she first started to lose her hair. Misconception, it is not the cancer that causes loss of hair, it is the chemo. Who knew that testing from the Holocaust on mustard seed gas would provide a way to kill all the cancer cells in your body? I thought my mom came home from one of her chemo appointments apparently that day she went to shave her head. And I didn't know because one of her wigs already came in. And I went to talk to my mom, and this wig must have really looked like her hair because I didn't know a thing. My mom went back to her room, and I went to ask her a question. I know it was a school day. I don't know if it had something to do with school or if I was going to ask her how her chemo went. I don't know. I went back to her room and I screamed because my mom was bald. I didn't know that she was getting her hair cut. And I started to cry because my mom was bald. She was already at that point. And it wasn't until months later, after, the chemo treatments were done with and her hair started to grow back, that my mom, told me why she didn't tell me. It was because my mom was struggling with it. I know guys don't understand it. They, most of them have short hair, don't really pay attention, just keep it combed, looking good, spiked, comb over, whatever, wear a hat. But I know my mom definitely saw her identity and beauty in her hair. And it was very hard to come to that decision to shave her head. Apparently, my mom cried a lot before that went down, and it was very emotional. It took a long time getting used to my mom, being bald. People who go through chemo definitely have to keep their heads, warm. And I don't know if anyone who's watching ever shaved their head, but when the hair kind of, grows back, some people, like my dad, like to touch it and play with it, but it extremely hurts. Even like when it comes to like wigs and stuff. I know my mom had a little bit of fun with the wigs because she said, if she was going to go through all this, she might try something to make her laugh. Some things that people don't realize when you go through cancer is you don't always get to see your mom. We had to move in with my grandma because my dad was working so much. Of course, you can't take time off for cancer. And my mom got really, really sick. There were some moments where my mom was in the hospital and we weren't allowed to visit her because she didn't want us to see her like that. She didn't want us to have memories like that. There would be moments where we might have had a cough or a sneeze or a slight fever or anything, and we weren't allowed to be around my mom. The slightest sickness could, get her sick. My brother was, 15 and 16 during cancer. There were times where I didn't see my brother for a month, especially during the summer because my parents still wanted us to be kids. And so since he had, all girls as siblings, there would be people in our church who my brother would stay with all boy families. And he really loved that. But it's tough when you're like stuck at grandma's house. I love my grandma to death, and I thank her so much for putting up with us. But you want your family around. You want someone to be there when you cry, someone to be there when you're scared, just someone there because nobody knows what you're going through except your family. We didn't go to church during most of that time. We couldn't risk going to church and fearing that we could carry back something that could get my mom sick. Most of the time we couldn't even get a ride because my dad had to work so much to pay off the medical bills. It was extremely tough. And whenever my brother was gone for long periods of time, it was rough. There were some moments where my little sister was gone, where my older sister was gone, and then there were some times where even I was gone. Just, to give grandma a break or for us to have fun. Sometimes we would spend a few days or a week at a friend's house or a relative's house. And as much as I enjoyed that time, I couldn't help but worry about my mom. If I was going to see her again, if I would make it. We didn't even go to her house. My brother and dad, I consider them the lucky ones. They got to go to the house and take care of our dog, Lady and some of the pets there, and, just dust it and try to keep it clean. I didn't get to be in my bedroom. I didn't get to be in my bed. I didn't get to have my toys or all my blankets. I didn't have the comfort of home. Yes, Grandma's house did feel like home, but it's not the place of comfort you imagine. There were so many times where when my mom had to be in the hospital because how bad she was, I wish I could have been in the room with her. We used to beg my dad to let us go and visit Mom. We would ask Grandma and Grandpa if we could go. And a lot of times the answer was no because of how bad my mom was. Some of the times that we went in, and I didn't realize it at the time, I was just so happy to see my mom, was because they didn't think she was going to make it. And to be honest, I wouldn't have cared at that time if Dad, would have said, hey, kids, we're coming over because we don't know if your mom's going to make it this week. I was just so happy to see my mom. There's one time I was at my aunt's house. I don't know, we must have been shopping or something or doing errands. And we were close to the hospital, and she pulled up and she let me visit my mom. Only for a minute. I might not even seen my mom for a minute. It was very fast because my mom didn't want me there. But I was so happy to get a glimpse of her. And I didn't realize at the time that my mom was that sick. I was just happy that I got to see her. I didn't get to talk to my mom. I didn't get to talk to her a lot during this. She was mostly in her room. And she had this bell. And we could only go in as if she was having a really, really good day. Or if she needed, some food or broth. Just something. With how bad the surgery was the year before, and then with cancer, there was at least a good 2-3 years I didn't have too much of a connection with my mom. And it was just my siblings and I, and we were, as I said, out of church a lot. We didn't get to see that many people. So it was a blessing when our pastor came over, or someone else. But one thing that I thought was very interesting, and this passage is very, very special to my family, because my dad would read it while my mom was in the hospital, and my mom would read it without knowing Dad was reading it. And one day my mom read it for her devotions, and another day my dad did, and he read it to her. And then that day our pastor came, and he read it to them, and since then it became very special to me. It says, "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of my enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil. My cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house forever." The one thing that got my family through cancer, besides my family itself, was the Lord. I don't know what I would have done without him or my mom. We knew if she died, she would be in heaven with Jesus Christ. God. And that someday we would see her, in our new body and bliss. Because it is true, what John 3:16 says. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish but have everlasting life. John 3:16. And it's true that the scriptures say there is none that doeth good, no, not one. There's no one that's righteous. And all we have to do is call on the name of the Lord to be saved. And that we have to trust in Jesus Christ and that he died on the cross for our sins. I know I wasn't perfect while my mom was in cancer. During some of that time, my one aunt and uncle got divorced. One of my favorites. And that was rough on me. And the whole cancer thing was rough. And the year before it, and shortly after my mom got out of cancer, our dog died, Lady. If you ever saw the movie Marley and Me, Lady was kind of like Marley. And it hit us hard because she was our first pet. And so I was dealing with all of those that I took my rage and anger out. And I shouldn't have. And all this to say is cancer can cause different things. Cancer can make you mad and angry if you are a child or a teenager. It can make you sad and lonely. It can make you not want to be around people. Some people who have had family members, like parents, go through it can have post-traumatic stress syndrome from it. I don't know if I've ever been so candid about cancer before. I did not expect this video to go this long with me just talking about it. As I said, you can go ahead and skip it. With cancer, there's a lot. For the longest time, I could not say the word breast cancer. I don't think I could actually say it until this year, actually. And I know it's even harder for me to talk about it. And as I said, most of my siblings and I haven't even, talked about it amongst ourselves. I don't even know, how they feel during it. I know I can't bring it up to my little sister. It's too emotional, and it's non-existent to my brother. But I guess I wanted you guys to see why I choose to do this. Why I'm choosing to cut my hair. Why breast cancer means so much to me. Because even though it almost took my mom, God is stronger than cancer. Thankfully, through the prayers of the church and my family, God still allowed me to have my mom. And if it wasn't for my mom, I would have never went to Bible college. I would have never, moved. And I would never have the amazing friends that I have now. Cancer stinks. It's hard to find anything good about cancer. But through it, I believe honestly, my family grew closer together. And my faith in the Lord definitely grew. And I still have a mom, and my mom is so strong. She's one of the strongest people I know. And through cancer, she has been able to witness to so many people. Not only has she shared her testimony of what her life was like with cancer and after cancer, but she's been able to witness to so many people about the Lord. So many people are in heaven now because my mom had cancer. And even though I might come off as this hard person at times, I think it's because no human truly understands what other humans have gone through. I'm not really sure what I want to do at this point, so I'll probably go ahead and move in shortly to go ahead and cut my hair. This is for you, Mom. I hope you do appreciate it. Sorry if I went really long rambling, but I just thought some people should know some of the facts and how some people feel during cancer. And that's just a small part. of it, very, very tiny. And I don't think I've ever shared that much with someone before. Believe me, it's hard for people to talk about cancer, and I wasn't the one who had it. It was my mom. So I'm going to go ahead and move into the next portion, and I hope you guys like it. Hey, welcome if you're just now joining us from like the time skip. I am donating my hair to Locks of Love, and it's a wonderful organization that makes wigs for kids and women going through cancer. Here, maybe it'd be easy, I think, if I split it into two. And if you listened to a little bit of my story about cancer, great. And a little bit of my family's testimony of it. If you have not, you can go and watch the whole video, or if you're joining from the bus channel, you can go ahead and click on that on the link below. I think you'll get a kick of me going to cut my hair. Here, reuse these because they're small. To donate to Locks of Love, you need at least 10 inches. The most I ever donated, I think, was 20 or 22. The second time I donated, it was only 16. Okay. You have to have your hair like in a ponytail. Right. By the time I finish with this, I will put my hair to my shoulders, and I will show you before and after, so that you can go ahead. So you would be somewhere around 13. I'm going to stop the video quickly to take a picture of my hair. So there, I took a picture of my hair. Oh, I just got scissors and I did not open them up. Silly me, I'm like very nervous about it, but it's for a good cause. I have a blanket that's over me, just so that in case any loose hair, and a little piece of paper to put it in, so that way after the hair, I guess you could say, dries, you can go to. Oh, this is very nerve-wracking. Can't believe I am doing. I'm such an idiot. But it's COVID, right? And many salons aren't even open, and if they are, they're very, very expensive. I'm not somebody who just does this spare of a moment. Here she goes. I just gotta get it over with and hope it turns out okay. All of you watching can call me crazy, right? I feel it. Alright, no going back now. Wow. That just feels so weird to be holding your hair. I mean, look at this. As I said before, I got it cut other places. It's already like so tiny. This is weird. I feel like maybe I just lost like an arm or something and it's just like dangling. Make a cute guest ponytail for a girl. This looks weird. So it's hard for me to hold it straight for you. Let me go ahead and put my hand like that. So it is at least 14 inches. But I'm going to say a good 13 because, you know, they might have to straighten it up and cut it. So there you go. I'm going to put this on my desk and then show you a picture of what my hair looks like now. And then I am going to try to even that out if I can. I don't know if you can see it, but if you look, because of how I cut it, it's not completely straight. So I'm going to go work on that portion now with a few videos that I saw on YouTube. Here's my hair in a little ponytail. Not bad. I actually look like a few friends of mine from college, but there we go. Alright, and there it looks. I guess it looks okay. I normally do not wear my hair down, so I won't have to worry about that for a little bit till I can get someone to look at it, but I guess this is what I have to do. And I've had short hair 2 times before in my life, so I'm gonna definitely get used to this. But cancer, it's worth it. Let me tell you that. It's definitely worth it. Just trying to see if it looks even or not. Show you what it looks like in a ponytail then. So if you want to, donate your hair or want to know more about the program, I'll go ahead and send you the link in the description below. That's what I did, and this is my October love gift to my mom. Because my mom is a cancer survivor, at least of 13 years, and with COVID, there wasn't much I could do for you, Mom. So I hope you watch this video. I hope you like it. I hope you don't think I'm too stupid, but I really wanted to do this for you. And I definitely do love you, and cancer's a hard enough trip. So if I can make one person feel special with, turning my hair into a wig, I definitely will do that. So anyway, everyone who thinks I'm crazy, as I said, just check out the story on the other video, or if you skipped it, you can go back and watch it. But I definitely love my mom, and I know God has definitely got us through this journey. And I will try to do another video maybe next week of just how God loves us during cancer or any trial we have, and that He is always with us no matter the struggles, even if no one's around. God is always there, and He's amazing. Hope you guys have a wonderful day. Bye.